You don't really understand what medic means until the first time you have to choose who you don't run to. I was a combat medic with an infantry company in a cold, wet forest on the German border in late '44. Tall pines, mud everywhere. Low fog that made the world feel small and dangerous. The maps had a name for it. We just called it the woods. My aid bag was my weapon bandages, morphine, sulfa, plasma, tape. Enough to maybe keep a man alive, long enough to get him off the line. We moved up in the late afternoon to relieve a chewed-up unit holding a muddy firebreak. Shattered trees, shell holes, the ground torn and black. Artillery rumbled somewhere ahead. The captain pointed out our sector. "We hold from that blown stump to that forked tree," he said. "Expect shelling, maybe a probe. Dig deep." The rifleman dug. I picked a shallow scrape between two trees where I could move fast but still have some cover. My assistant, Carter, slid in next to me. "Every time they say probe," he muttered, "I know it's going to suck. Could be worse," I said. They could say breakthrough. Around dusk, it started. Artillery came in heavy, walking toward us through the trees. Shells shredded the tops, showering splinters and steel. The forest sounded like it was screaming. Then it stopped. For a few seconds there was just ringing. Then German voices. Then machine guns. "Contact front," someone yelled. Our line lit up. Rifles and bars chattering. Tracers sewing between the trunks. I waited for the call I never wanted to hear but always did. Medic. Left side. I grabbed my bag and ran, keeping low, feeling bark and dirt kick up around me. I dropped into a foxhole where a rifleman lay on his back, hands pressed to his side, blood slick under his fingers. "Hey, Doc," he groaned. "Lucky you," I said, cutting his jacket. "You got me on a good night." It was a bad shrapnel wound, but high bleed-why, not instantly fatal. I packed dressings, sulfa, wrapped him tight, hit him with morphine, and marked his forehead. "You're not dying tonight," I told him. "You're going to be a headache for someone for years." "Good," he coughed. I like being a problem. We dragged him back on a poncho to the aid-post trail and handed him to runners. I turned to head back. The firefight was closer now. Voices louder, more grenades. "Medic, over here." Right side this time. I moved again. Second guy was half out of his hole, helmet gone, blood washing down his face and shoulder. Head and shoulder. His buddy shouted over the rifle fire. Scalp wound and a shoulder hit. Messy, but fixable. I wrapped his head, packed and bandaged the shoulder. Morphine, on the forehead. "You stay here," I told him, shoving him down into the bottom of the hole. "You've got cover. I'll come back when it's quieter. Just don't forget me," he mumbled. "You're heavy," I said. "I won't forget." I climbed out. The flare went up then, hissing, turning the forest silver and black. Men moving between trees, shadows jerking, muzzle flashes strobing. "Medic, up here." Farther forward, past our firebreak, in front of the line. Carter grabbed my jacket. "You go out there now, you're naked," he snapped. "Somebody's bleeding out," I said. "You can either yell at me or help." He swore and followed. We ran across the open firebreak into the trees. Bullets cracked around us. One smacked a trunk so close that bark sprayed my cheek. We found him slumped in a shallow crater, propped against a tree. His right leg was torn apart, bone showing, boot half gone, blood pooling fast. "Doc," he whispered. "This feels bad." I slapped a tourniquet high on his thigh, cranked it until he screamed, cranked again. "Good," I said. "If you're screaming, you're not dead." Another burst of fire ripped through the branches over our heads. Carter pressed low, eyes wide. "We can't sit here," he hissed. "If they push through, we're in front of everyone with our pants down." He wasn't wrong. The wounded man looked at me, saw the calculation. "Just give me something," he said, voice shaking. "Don't leave me like this." I popped a morphine syringe and jabbed his arm. "You're not dying," I lied. Grab his shoulders, I told Carter. We're dragging him. We got him onto a poncho and started hauling him backward, slow, awkward, every root catching us. Somewhere along the way, a branch snagged my helmet and ripped it off. I left it. We were nearly to the fire break when a tree in front of us exploded, splinters and dirt slapping us. Our line was firing just over our heads, tracers burning the air. Doc! Carter! Where are you? Someone yelled. Working on it. I shouted, lungs on fire. 2 riflemen grabbed the poncho edges and dragged our guy the last few feet into a deeper hole. I dropped him beside him, bareheaded, chest heaving. Told you, I said. I don't leave heavy patients in the woods. You forgot your helmet, he slurred. Tell Supply to yell at me later, I said. The fight dragged on for hour surges, lulls, more artillery, more medic. I moved between holes, wrapping wounds, throwing on tourniquets, marking morphine, telling the same lies over and over. You're okay. They'll evac you soon. You're not going to die out here. Sometimes it was true. Sometimes it wasn't. After midnight, the firing slowly faded. The Germans pulled back or went to ground. We were still there. The captain slid into my scrape. How bad? He asked. I gave him numbers: wounded, dead, evacuated. He nodded, jaw tight. Can you keep them alive till first light? He said. I'll do what I can, I answered. Later, when it was as quiet as that forest ever got, Carter dropped in next to me. You know you sprinted out there with no helmet, he said. You followed me, I answered. Yeah, he sighed. You're a terrible influence. We sat in the dark, listening to trees creak and distant artillery. Doc, he said after a while, you know you can't get them all, right? One of these days you're going to have to not go. I know, I said. I just wasn't sure I could do it. People later liked to talk about medics like we were saints. Truth is, most nights it felt like running between holes in the dark, trying to outrun blood loss with a bag of bandages and bad odds. The thing that stuck with me from that night wasn't a medal moment. It was a muddy patch of woods, a guy with a ruined leg asking me not to leave him, and me realizing my helmet was somewhere back there on the ground, and I didn't care. He lived. Lost most of that leg, but he lived. Months later, I saw him on crutches. You still owe me a helmet, he said. I'll take that trade every time.